For me, I fully support able-bodied able-bodied athletes competing in wheelchair sports because of the classification system. And you know, a 4.5, an able-bodied is a 4.5, and you still have to meet the points on the floor. And if you have somebody who used to play stand-up basketball and has bad knees and can't play in the able-bodied world anymore, why shouldn't they be able to play using a wheelchair at whatever elite level if they're good enough, fast enough, strong enough, and put the effort in? I know, Andrea, you and I talked about, you know, oftentimes when we find new athletes, right? It's like Joey mentioned, when I came into the gym and I was excited to compete, you kind of like hang on to that person, and you almost fill them up with the idea that the Paralympics is something that you can aspire to go to. And I believe that the Paralympics, and it won't work for every sport, obviously, but in wheelchair basketball, it's one of those sports that it does work for, that anybody can compete. And it will only raise the bar for, I think, the games and for the competition.
I believe also that AB's able-bodied athletes should be able to compete in wheelchair basketball at the highest level, because wheelchair basketball is probably the most unique sport in the world, in that the wheelchair is the leveler. It levels the playing field. There's no difference than Mikey sitting in a basketball chair or myself sitting in a basketball chair, because the classification works that way. And as Mikey said, when we first started playing together, we worked well together because that's the team dynamic of it. Her classification worked well with my classification in working together on offense and defense. And I know for me as a young boy, when I got my hip disease and the able-bodied sporting world was taken away from me, I was heartbroken and depressed. And wheelchair basketball afforded me an opportunity to continue competing in sport with my siblings and my peers, my peer group that I already had. It introduced me to a whole different world of adaptive sport and a whole new peer group as well. But this was the leveled playing field where we could all compete together.